And what we're doing here is putting up cream corn. This will ultimately be frozen. Okay, the concept here is that when you cut your ear of corn originally, you're cutting the kernels in half. You don't cut the whole kernel off, you cut approximately half of the kernel off of the corn. And then you scrape the ear of corn. You scrape the other half of the kernel off of the ear of corn, which we shall see in a moment. I know the drama is building right now as I speak. Okay, now we're scraping the other half of the kernel off of the corn.
If you want to show them what it looks like.
And there's what it looks like there after we do that, and it's, you know, reasonably mushy looking there. So there we go. I don't know how many ears we did here, probably close to 30 ears, I guess, counting that and that there. And we're going to be cooking this in the microwave ovens. You can do it on the stove, of course, but it is really easy to scorch if you do it on the stove. And if you ever do cream corn, or any kind of corn really, on the stove and scorch it, you've just ruined the whole batch. The scorch taste will just, even just the tiniest bit of scorch, the taste just goes all the way through the corn and it just totally ruins it. So therefore, a long time ago, we started doing it in the microwave instead of on the stove. I suppose if you did it on a double boiler in the on the stove, you'd be okay. But yeah, just never have food with a double boiler. So microwave it is. And here we are pouring our corn out into a bowl from this big dish tub, dish basin, whatever you call it.
I'll have to put part of it in the other bowl.
Yeah, okay. And there it is. Cream corn! And we added a little bit of water to it to get all the kernels out. Let's see, we're putting this up so you don't put any salt in it or any butter, either one, in it, do you?
No.
Okay. Don't ask me why we don't put salt or butter in it. I really don't know. But when you're putting it up, we just never have.
No. So it's not to in the book.
The book says no salt or butter when you're freezing it.
Looks good.
Yeah, it looks great. Now we'll be putting it in the microwave and cooking it various amounts of time, several times, stirring in between. So I don't know the exact total.
Total of about 12 minutes, wasn't it?
That's after you start boil. It starts boiling, right?
Yeah.
So we'll be going around 12 minutes.
12 to 14 minutes.
12 to 14 minutes after it starts. And how come you're doing it like?
Because I can't cook them all in one
Oh, it
bowl.
bubbles up too much?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'll be doing two different batches of it. So there you go. After it starts bubbling, do 12 to 14 minutes, and then you just let it cool. Put it in quart bags and put it in the freezer. Got two batches of corn here, and this first batch is in there. She put it for 5 minutes at 50% power, so you can hear the microwave cycling off and on. So then we'll stir it and go a little more, and stir it and go a little more till it starts bubbling, and then 12 to 15 minutes. And it really is good not to fill your bowl up too much, because if you do, it will boil over. As you can see, this is bubbling up. Well, you may not be able to see through this screen here, but it's bubbling up pretty good there. Okay, as it turned out, just left the corn in for 10 minutes after it started boiling, because it really seemed like it was cooking pretty hard there, so I think 10 minutes was plenty. And there is what we look like. Cream corn. And we've got the next batch going in there, and that'll probably go 10 minutes too. But anyway, what we do here It would take forever to cool down just on its own, so we set it in the sink with a little bit of water around the edges, and we'll be putting some ice around it. And this bowl is really hot, so you really need a bowl that can withstand the temperature changes so you won't crack your bowl. This is a Pyrex bowl, so should be okay. But anyway, yummy cream corn. And this will be going in quart bags and going in the freezer. And this is what it looks like after the water's in it and after I've got the ice, little ice packs cooling things down. I'm not sure exactly how long it'll take to cool down so I can put it in the freezer bags. This is not really going to make a whole lot, looking like about 3 bags worth. I've already put up 11 bags, so this will be 14 in total.
Actually, I thought there's only going to be 2 bags worth.
And generally on these bags here, I just fill it up to like a couple of inches from the top. You got to leave a little bit of room for expansion. Okay, and on these here, there's no point. I mean, you don't really have to suck any excess air out of them because that's sort of just taking care of you since it's kind of liquid, semi-liquid in nature. And just sort of put it down here on the table. And sort of get all the air out. So yep, so much for that. It just only made 2 quart bags. Really, that's why I put up most of my corn on the cob, because it almost seems like it's not even worthwhile putting it up the cream style, because it only made like 2 bags for, I don't know, this is probably 25 years or so. So on the cob, hello Susie. It would have made like 25 years, but the cream is good, plus my freezer is kind of getting pinched for room. Okay, and here's a little side note. See these ears of corn here? You can see that these have got ice crystals in them already, and these, here as I can tell, have little or no ice crystals in them. Well, maybe just a few, but we'll call it little or no ice crystals here. They were put up when they were stone cold, which is how you're supposed to put them up. And apparently, I could tell whenever I zipped these up, whenever I vacuum sealed them, that these had just the tiniest bit of warmth. I mean, I didn't figure it would make any difference. It's just the tiniest bit of warmth. And you can see that, let me see if I can, yeah, okay, you can really tell the difference in them here. So when you're putting up your ears of corn, make sure it's just stone cold, or probably anything you're putting up, make sure it's stone cold, because it does make a difference on your ice crystals. Less ice crystals, stone cold. More ice crystals, tiniest bit warm. If you was to put up something that was really warm, it would make a huge difference.